One of the very important things that we need to learn to do daily in our life is to walk in the consciousness. Say consciousness. Walking in the consciousness of the finished work of Christ in your life. Walking in the consciousness that there is always grace. And because there is always grace in me, there is always power. And because there is always power in me, there is always abilities to do things. And because there is always abilities in my life to do things, success is part of my life. Can you see the flow of God here? You see, many times and so often, Christians are only conscious that they are children of God when they come to church. Or when they pray during their devotion time. The moment they finish the devotion time and the church ends, they are not conscious anymore of who they are. That, I believe, contributes greatly. Why there is such a great disparity in terms of joy, in terms of confidence, in terms of authority, you know. I think yesterday I mentioned to you about authority. That authority is no authority until you recognize the authority and you embrace or assume that authority in your life. The grace of God will mean nothing until you recognize the grace of God in your life and then you embrace that grace. So that every morning when you wake up from your bed, the moment your foot steps out of your bed and touches the floor, the grace of God is available for you that day to achieve and accomplish everything you need to do for that day. Are you with me? And because of the presence of God's grace in my life, therefore today I will have more than yesterday. And when tomorrow comes, I will be better than today. Because every day there is grace lifting me, grace strengthening me, grace empowering me. Look at them and say, you are empowered by the grace of God. We're here tonight to talk about money. Look at the neighbor and say, money is good. It was fascinating this morning to watch how the vernacular congregation responded to this message of money is good. How many of you were here at that service? Only a handful of you. Oh, it was so fun watching them. Man, they were spontaneous. They were excited to find out that God said money is good. This is church. Money is good. You're not supposed to talk like that. God said money is good. In fact, it is this consciousness and recognition that money is good and God is pleased when we prosper and have money that contribute to the Jewish pursuit of wealth. You see, the Jews have no problem having lots of money. And the reason is because from young they were brought up under the teachings of the laws of God, and particularly what is written in the first 5 books of the Bible. And in the first 5 books of the Bible, in Genesis itself, the Bible talks about God looking at gold and say the gold of Havilah was good. And that forms the very philosophical foundation for the Jews to believe that God is pleased when I have money. Because gold is always synonymous with money. Correct? You don't so stop. I know I'm in the right congregation tonight. You see, this is very important, church. And I'm going into what I promised you yesterday. To attract wealth, you must appreciate wealth in the right way. God will not give to you something that you believe is evil and wrong. You understand what I'm saying? If you believe that money is evil, God will not give you money. Because your conscience cannot accept it. You understand what I'm saying? That's why it's very important that as a church and as God's people, we must have a clarity and understanding of what we believe in, and that what we believe in is accurately, truthfully, and completely presented. So when what you have received is half of what it actually is, it is misinterpreted, what happens? You have the truth and yet not the truth. You understand what I'm saying? God will not give you money if you believe money is evil. And here is where the devil has caught the people of God and trapped them. If you don't believe what I say tonight is okay, do yourself a favor and do a research on this teaching that money is evil, and check where and when it began to be taught in the church, and you will be shocked where it came from. It was never. When God spoke to me about 6 years ago about becoming a millionaire for you, one of the first things I did was to study money, blessings, as found in the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation. I did a whole study on this word called blessing. I want to know what is God's perspective of money. You know what I discovered? And that changed my whole life. Practically, every time when the Bible uses the word, I will bless you, it is a promise of physical provision. Everything but bless means physical provision. Bless means physical provision. Then I found another interesting thing. Every time when God is pleased, prosperity follows. I like enthusiastic people. That's the only way to live here. Only one life, and live it enthusiastically. Every time when the nation of Israel walked in obedience to God, every time when they pleased God, they prospered. You can never dispute that. It is all in the Old Testament. Never was there ever one occasion when the nation of Israel obeyed God and they were poor. And tonight I will show you from the scriptures and from experience and practical living, wisdom of practical living, that wealth is, let me put it this way, that money was never meant to be sensitive. Sensitive. People in church. We are God's people. Wrong thing. If you make money sensitive, you won't have money. Well, because you won't be able to manage it. You will be It's time we take money off that pedestal. Let's see if it is something, wow, something so big, something so special. Money is nothing but just a tool. Earning the money is nothing but just a tool. It is just a tool. You see, it is when you see money as nothing but a servant that you will reach that position of attitude that money will never control you. It is when money always remains sensitive, that's when you can get trapped by money. Are you following what I'm saying? In our life, we write checks, we make payment, we don't feel anything. There's no feeling. Because money is nothing but just a tool. And because we don't feel for it, it will never control me. You understand what I'm saying? It is as easy for me to write check of 10,000 or check of 100,000. Because it's nothing more but just a tool, a transaction tool. That's it. You see, until you gain mastery over money, God will not give you lots of money. Because if you have lots of money, you will be around. And that's terrible, right? Hello? So, let's understand that. Every person has the natural and inherent power to choose what you want in this life. And we must exercise the power of our choice properly and correctly. But in order to exercise choice accurately and properly, we need to have clear understanding and wisdom. Amen. Without clear understanding and wisdom, you cannot exercise choice. Now, put this here and let me now state for you the first important thing you must do if you're going to have money come to you. I shared with you yesterday night, and I finished up with a statement said, you get wealth by living, doing, thinking in a certain way. People who are wealthy and people who are not wealthy have different sets of thinking. And this is true. And there have been surveys done, interview conducted, to attest to this thing that rich people think differently from normal, ordinary. The one who employs think differently from the one who is an employee. A leader thinks differently from a follower. It is the same flow of policy. So the first step to attracting and creating wealth in you is, write this down, thinking in a certain way. Thinking in a certain way. The principle is this, that everything tangible comes from thoughts. Digest this, Professor. This chair would never have become a chair before it first become a thought in the mind of the designer. Everything that you see on the face of this earth, from the smallest to the biggest, from the simplest to the most complex, it all